Hello, everyone. My name is David Reimherr, and I'm with Magnificent Marketing. And today, I am going to talk about the best piece of marketing advice that has ever been given to me. When I was first posed with this question, I really wasn't sure what to talk about or what to say. I had just been given so much amazing advice from so many smart people that I really couldn't pinpoint, the very best one. But I really put some thought into it, and the answer started to become crystal clear to me, and it is without a doubt, keep learning. I cannot emphasize this enough. Start reading blogs, start following people who are smarter than you or have been there and done that. Pick up some books. Just get out there and start to learn, and you will absolutely, positively not regret it. I would be nowhere near where I am in my current career right now if I didn't have this thirst or started to think I knew it all. But I will say I didn't always think this way. There was a point in my career when I was 24 years old, and I literally uttered the words, and this is after having a little bit of success in my sales career, but I literally uttered the words, I think I am the top 5% of salespeople in an entire country. I am embarrassed, a little bit embarrassed to admit this, and I'm absolutely embarrassed to have said that, but that's where my head was at the time. I was thinking that, I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me what to do. Look at me. I'm making all these sales. But I look back at that kid, that immature kid, and I couldn't have been more wrong. And in fact, knowing what I know now and looking at some of the things I was doing, I was in the top 95% of salespeople in an entire country. And I'm just glad and thankful. I just thank my lucky stars that I did not stay that way. At some point in my life, I realized that I don't know it all. I've become humbled over time, and from there has inspired me to start picking up books and reading and blogs and whatnot. And I just couldn't be more thankful, and especially in my career in marketing. If you're in marketing and you're not always staying on all the latest and greatest trends and topics and the best tactics to use, you'll be behind the time in 6 months, and that's being generous. It could literally be weeks with all the different things that come out with Google and algorithm updates and Facebook changes and Twitter changes. It's mind blowing. It's a little bit overwhelming, but I will say if you do share my passion for learning, and you have your own thirst for staying on top of things, for getting ahead, you will be running circles around people who don't think that way. I've seen it happen. I've seen some people that have just been stagnant in their careers, and I've seen other people who didn't really seem like they know what they were doing, and all of a sudden they're to have thriving careers and even open up businesses. But this is especially true in marketing. You've got to keep learning from the best. You've got to stay on top of everything, because if you don't, like I said, you'll be behind the game, and it'll become overwhelming. So, and of course, this goes for every career, every sort of line of work. But for me personally, from what I do know about marketing, you got to stay on top of all the latest and greatest trends. But with that being said, step outside the box. Learn from people in other industries. I've learned so much from the likes of Bo Sachs. He was a founding father of High Times. Daniel Pink and his management philosophies. Tony Hsieh with Zappos and Richard Branson. There's so much to be learned from just people who have been there and done that. And never forget that. People who have been there and done that have been there and done that. And there's just so much wisdom that they can bestow on you. And people like Daniel Pink and his management philosophies. There's so much to be learned. I mean, people have gotten smarter, and he's adjusted, his philosophy and management techniques. And that helps you deal with, if you're in sales, it helps you just learn how to deal with people. And if you're in management, it'll obviously help you with management. And Tony Hsieh and seeing how he was thinking, where his head was at when he was growing his companies and eventually moved on and created Zappos, and how he dealt with employees. There's just so much to be learned. And Richard Branson and his early struggles and how he overcame, great odds it's just there's like I said, just step outside your own industry because you'll never know how much you can apply to your daily life and even to your career by learning from people outside of your industry. But speaking of my industry, marketing and specifically with an emphasis on content marketing, I love to talk about some people that have been an inspiration to me, and it starts at the top here with Joe Pulizzi. He is the godfather of content marketing. Literally, that's what people call him. He's the godfather of content marketing. He actually literally coined the term, came up with the term content marketing, and I've just learned so much from him. He doesn't, I don't think, realize this, but he's my unofficial mentor. Just watching how he runs his company, how he treats his employees, just how he lives his life. It's he's such an inspiration to me. But as far as education level, he has a conference every year in Cleveland called Content Marketing World, and I haven't missed one yet. It's my only. I have a perfect attendance there, and it's the only perfect attendance tag that I've ever enjoyed getting. But I won't ever miss one. There's just too many things that I've learned. I've sculpted my entire content marketing company around what I've learned from him and his people there. So you've got to follow him. You got to follow his team at CMI Content because they will just give you such amazing pointers in this field of content marketing. And one other person that I actually met and had the pleasure of watching speak at one of his conferences is Marcus Sheridan with the Sales Lion. This guy is incredibly intense, insanely knowledgeable, and he's a great teacher. I actually did hire him to consult with me, a few years ago as I was getting into this field, and it was the best decision I ever made. And he's such a nice guy to boot, but he's constantly putting out little tidbits here and there, in addition to obviously big overall teaching goals. But he's a wonderful person to learn from, fun to learn from, and if you've never seen him speak, I highly encourage you to do so. It's so much fun. Some other people in this arena: Jay Baer, Gina Dietrich, Andrew Davis, Michael Brenner, all people that you need to follow on Twitter and read their blogs. These are people that I learn from on a weekly, daily basis. And Andrew Davis, another shout out goes to this amazing speaker. You won't find somebody with higher energy than him. He just bounces off the walls, but so entertaining, but so much to learn from. And again, all these people have been there. They have thriving careers and companies, and there's a reason for that. So follow these people as well. And some other people I'd like to touch on that I continue to learn from, and I feel like I'm giving away all my secrets here, but I always feel like the further I can help my field of marketing and my peers, it'll come back around to me. So I don't mind sharing. But these are some other amazing people that I've learned from. Michael Stelzner with Social Media Examiner. They will always keep you up to date. They're always probably the first out there to talk about any changes within Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatnot. His team is always on top of it. So I make sure I get their daily emails, and I'm always learning from him. And same thing goes with Ann Hanley with Marketing Profs. Sign up for their e-newsletters. They're always just right on top of everything. And these are everyone that I've learned from, and everybody that have kept me up to date. And John Loomer, if you want to learn anything and everything about Facebook advertising, where not to make your mistakes, where not to waste your money, where to put your emphasis, John Loomer is the best in the business, and I highly recommend you follow him and even sign up for his Power Hitters Club. He has some paid services as well, and I highly recommend doing so. Kevin Knevel, another great guy that I've learned from, in regards to LinkedIn, Twitter tips, how to use the platforms, best practices. There's not a better guy in the business to learn from. Lisa Lawrence is awesome with on-page SEO tips, keeping you up to date with all the Google algorithm updates. She's a wonderful person to stay on top of. In some books that I've read over the years, I've become a big reader. It wasn't always that way. That was back when I was 24 and knew it all. But since that time along the way, I've become a big reader. And some books of note I'd like to point out: the Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. I created an entire sales methodology and process with tons and tons of advice from this book. Not many books can stand the test of time, especially with marketing, but this one within the sales field, it's a phenomenal read. Will give you so many great tips. So highly recommend that. Launch, book that Michael Spelsner wrote, it's in regards to social media, getting your stuff off the ground, getting it going, and it obviously touches on content marketing. But you have, if you're getting into this field and you want to learn, read this book. I've probably made hundreds of notes in it, and I've taken all those notes and applied them. So great tips there. Jonah Berger, his book called Contagious. This is a very fun read. It will let you tap into the mind of what gets people, what makes things contagious, what gets people to want to do something, what gets a brand to be liked, what gets somebody to click on something. But it's a fun read. It shows a different spin on it, and I highly recommend this book, if nothing else, just for the pure enjoyment of it. It's an awesome read. Some other books that I've learned from. You'll notice some of these are not necessarily in the marketing field. For instance, Richard Branson's books, those read like fiction. I mean, if you're going to want to just kick your feet up and read something that's fun, read his books. They don't seem real. The life this guy's lived is phenomenal. But seeing his struggles, reading about that, seeing how he's overcome them, his passion for making the world a better place, it just inspires you. And everybody who's growing their career or looking to open up their own company, it's daunting and it's scary. And you always think that everybody else who's already been thriving, it just happened for them, but that's not the case. And you look at somebody as successful as him, he had so many ups and downs, and him being so open about that in his books, it just inspires you and it encourages you, and it lets you know that you're not the only one out there struggling. Because everybody starts somewhere and everybody has their struggles, and it doesn't always seem that way. But again, just such a fun read. Well, I hope I've either scared you or inspired you to share my thirst for learning. Like I said earlier, I strongly believe that making your own market, your own field, and your own line of work better, and for everybody will come back around and make it better for me. So I highly encourage everyone to get out there and read, get out there and learn, because it's only going to make it better for everybody else. And again, my name is David Reimherr. I work with Magnificent Marketing. We are a content marketing firm located in Austin, Texas. If you are interested in talking about how we might be able to help your business, or if you just want to bounce ideas off of each other, I am always open to have a conversation and possibly learn from you. So I hope everybody has taken something of value from here, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much.